Good afternoon, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. I'm broadcasting on many channels today. I just kind of want to do an informational video because we know there's a great migration going on in America. And a lot of times we may think the reasons behind these migrations are political. Of course, we know that it's mostly financial. Some things could be political as well, though. Believe it or not, people do move for political reasons. But today we're going to focus mostly on the financial of things. And as I've been looking at certain census charts and census data and analysis, I'm noticing that a lot of people from Washington State, as well as California, as well as New York, especially in New York, that what they call it, New England area. A lot of people are moving from Delaware, Rhode Island, New Jersey, New York, even DC, my hometown, and they're moving down to the South. They're moving down across to the Midwest. And why is that? Now, if we take politics out of it, it's going to mostly point to financial. Now, a lot of people, I'm seeing a lot of information that's coming out about COVID-19 because of the restrictions and rules are lesser in the South, especially states like Texas and Florida. Texas and Florida are huge red states, Republican states, and they wasn't playing the whole let's shut down the state forever and make everyone wear masks and get immunizations and shots and all of these things. So a lot of people in mass droves start to move from California, Washington State, New York, DC, etc. And they started to move down to Georgia. They started to move down to Florida as well as Texas. But out of those states, I was very surprised to see a lot of people to move to states that a lot of us really don't talk about that much. We really don't. States like Montana, Idaho, Utah, Arizona, and Nevada. Now, I can understand people moving to Nevada. You have Las Vegas. Now you have the Las Vegas Raiders there. So when businesses, large conglomerate businesses move to states, it brings thousands of jobs. But we know that states like California are being it's so expensive that the middle class can no longer afford to live there. Okay. We see declining populations in Black Americans. We've seen declining population in Hispanic Americans. We see increasing population with Asian Americans and also the filthy white Americans. Even though I'm naming race, I'm not trying to make this racial. I'm just giving you the demographics of the certain people who are moving in and out of the city. Now, some people may look at, when we look at certain towns and urban cities and little small country towns, we're mostly looking at gentrification on a very small scale. As I start to really look at California, as I really started to look at New York, I am seeing gentrification statewide. Statewide. Now, someone may think that's very political, but it's all about financial, and it's all about certain groups of people taking back what they think is rightfully theirs by raising. Because here's the thing, what is the cause of this new boom in real estate? Can anyone name the cause of this boom in real estate? Please put it in the comments. Please put it in the chat. Please tell me why do you think there's a huge boom in real estate? Because you would think as people was laying off, people were moving to do telecommute and remote work, people were working from home, but thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of Americans lost their jobs. Simultaneously, the real estate market is at a 300 plus increase. I mean, real estate agents are making more money than they ever have in the past 20 years. Real estate investors are times fiving their portfolios and the amount of money of residual cash they have coming in. Because anyone tell me, why in the hell is the real estate market blowing up? Why? Because I can tell you why the real estate market in Texas is blowing up. I can tell you why the real estate market in Georgia is blowing up. I can tell you why the real estate market in Florida is blowing up. And I can tell you why the real estate market in states that people would never think about moving to, like Montana, Idaho, Utah, and Arizona, with the exception of Arizona. I know a lot of people who like Arizona, but you don't really hear too many people talk about, I'm moving to Utah, I'm moving to Idaho, I'm moving to Montana. Like, you're going to own a horse ranch? I'm going to tell you why. Jermaine Anderson, cost of living. That's the easy answer. Good afternoon, Jermaine Anderson. That's the easy answer. But as I stated before, could it be large conglomerate groups with billions of dollars gentrifying the whole state? Just keep that question in the back of your mind. I just really want you to question that, right? And I'm gonna give you a picture perfect depiction of states. So you keep these states in your mind because some of my graphics do not have the states. And I know we're all good in geography and we know where every state is, but we can get lost sometimes, right? So here we go. Here's a quick look. I want you guys to look at the states that are dark purple. They're showing a percent in population growth, 1% and higher, okay? 1% and higher. And then anything below that is lower than 1%, but still an increase. So the light purple is a 0.5% to 1% increase. You see kind of the white, there's really no significant change. You see kind of a yellowish orange. That's a 0.5% and lower that people have, essentially moved out and migrated. And then you see that bright orange is that almost 1% of the population has declined. Now, as we're looking at this family, what we're going to see is, let me get over here. We're going to see this is from 2020 to 2021, okay? From July to July. This is 1 year of people migrating and moving out state to state. So let's get a little deeper here. Now that you have a good picture of where all the states are, okay, don't forget about California, Montana, Idaho, Utah, Arizona, Texas, Georgia, South Carolina. A lot of people moving to South Carolina and New York. Okay, we see Illinois here, Chicago. We know why people moving out of Chicago, so I won't really focus on that. Okay, all right, here we go. This is the percent change in county population from 2010 to 2020. Now, I want you to see the green indicator here. As you see this family, it is showing you that there has been a 20% or more increase, okay, not decrease. This is from 2010 to 2020. People were actually moving into California, Washington State, of course, Florida. Florida's always have an increase of population because it's a sunshine state next to California, and you're there by the coast, and you're by the Bahamas, you're by all the nice, easy travel places, okay? So, and we see some places in Texas as well, but no one is essentially moving right here in the Midwest, so to speak. No one are moving to these states. People with these high-paying jobs mostly stay coastal from California to Washington, Texas, Florida, and New York, that New England area as well. Let's move along. Now, just to focus on Texas, because I am currently a resident of Texas. Okay, I'm currently a resident of Texas. I'm from Washington, D.C. But the way I came to Texas is different than most people. I retired out of the military, and I said, I'm going to the state who has the best benefits for veterans. So I came here. But a lot of people are moving. One, gentrification is pushing them out of their counties. They're pushing them out of their districts. Gentrification is pushing them out of their states. And then the cost of living is the second factor. Now, no one has really given me any relevance, any data, any information of why all of a sudden the real estate market started to boom. I noticed that when there's mass layoffs, when there are pandemics, one of the markets, one of the industries always start to boom. Like rich people do very, very well during chaotic times, don't they? They do well during war. They do well during pandemics. They do well. They just do well. And that's because they fall in a trend. And essentially, I would like to believe, which I know a lot of you guys know, that they actually control this. There's no really reason for this market boom, right? Why is California now 3 times the amount to live there? Now, people bought their homes, let's say 10, 15 years ago, and these homes were, let's say, $400,000 to $500,000. Do you know them homes are now $1.2, $1.5 million? And they can't move anywhere in California because most people, what they do is they stay in their house for anywhere from 3 to 5 years, right? And they build an equity with inside their home. They may gain anywhere from $30,000 to $7,000 on average. I bought this home. Listen, I bought this home back in 2020 for $390,000. My home today, 2 years later, not even 2 years, about a year and 9 months or so, is worth $685,000 in Texas. And did you know when you do upgrades and you increase your living space, like a patio, and you report that to the city district? Do you know because you increase your living space, you pay additional property tax, even though this is still your property? I just want to keep that in mind when you guys do an additional room or you convert something and it's now living space, or you do a huge patio with a cover and you got to do all of these permits and things. That is being reported to the city, and you have now increased your living space, so you pay more property tax. I just want to kind of give you that quick nugget. Okay. I see we got some more people in the room. Good afternoon, Andy. We got Let the Redeemer Say So, Steve Bryant. So I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna definitely read your notes. Just stay with me here because we're gonna go over this list. Because now I actually like Texas. I'm from Washington D.C. I always miss home, but I love the fact that I'm not living. I'm living in the community, but I'm not living really close to people. But they have a really in Texas. They have a lot of nice housing everywhere, and the population and I live in what they call in the Dallas County area. Okay, you have downtown Dallas, which I'm about 30 minutes from, and then you have kind of the suburbs of Dallas, right? You have McKinney, Frisco, Plano, Allen. I'm probably missing one, but nonetheless, when I first got here a couple of years ago, these homes were anywhere from around 300 to around $400,000 considering. And this is a $4,000, excuse me, this is a 4,000 square foot home, right? I have 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. I got a movie room, a gym, and my media room is huge. I'm just saying you get a lot of house in Texas for the amount of money, but not anymore. It's because of gentrification from states like New York as well as California and cost of living. But let me also show you how people are migrating to Texas more so than any other state because of big business. See, no one never really thought about Texas as big business. The only thing that came to mind about Texas when it comes to business is what? You're thinking about crude oil and you're thinking about beef. You're thinking about cattle. No, Texas have some of the largest business in America. We're gonna go through them very quickly. And listen, I'm gonna name a lot of targeted businesses. Like the first one on the list, you see it, Exxon Mobil. But don't forget, I keep telling people who thinking on a very low level, who never work on the executive level or corporate America. Each one of these, if you say, "Hey man, I work for Exxon Mobil," you work at a gas station. No, ladies and gentlemen, just like Walmart, just like Target, there is an executive level of all these businesses, and people are making 6+ figures. Okay. As I told you in Amazon, not everybody works in an Amazon fulfillment center. Not everybody's an Amazon driver. No, some people actually work on the Amazon campus on Seattle, Washington, on a corporate level, who are behind computers making everything run. Okay. Think of the things that you see of some of these companies like AT&T. You're only seeing the branches of the company, not the root, not the trunk of the business. That is the executive and corporate level. Okay. So let's run through these very, very quickly. A lot of these are going to be in Dallas, and a lot of these are going to be in Houston, because in the last 5 years or so, All right. Hopefully you guys are still here. I had technical issues. Let's get more into the video here. I had to switch networks. Okay. All right. So let's run through these very, very quickly. We have Exxon Mobil, ConocoPhillips, AT&T, Valero Energy. A lot of gas companies, as you see, are headquartered in one of the major cities of of Texas. You have Dell. Yeah, you guys remember Dell, Marathon Oil, Cisco. I'm just going to name a couple of here. USAA, J.C. Penney's, Halliburton. We have Waste Management, Texas Instruments, Southwest Airlines, Tenet Healthcare, GameStop, XTO Energy, Apache. Who else we have here? Kinder Morgan. I'm just going to name a couple of these, family, as I'm going through here. Atmos Energy, Spectra Energy, a lot of energy companies. I don't know why they have Blockbuster and Radio Shack, and them guys are out of business. But yeah, so Texas have a lot of big businesses. And let me also tell you this. You guys are familiar with Oracle. Oracle has a headquarters in Austin, and Tesla has a headquarters in Austin, the Austin area. So there are hundreds, thousands of jobs that have moved to Texas because of lower cost of living. And matter of fact, Elon Musk said himself that he sold all of his property in California and bought a ranch or a home here in Texas. So it just goes to show you how the cost of living has increased tremendously. But can anyone tell me why? I'm still waiting for that. I'm going to read some of your notes here, and then we're going to go back over some of the graphics I have here. All right, let's see. It says here, is this only accurate since the census in 2020? I have more information to share. Okay. Absolutely could be. Whales understand that people are afraid now and fleeing congested areas. They are going to own that land on the cheap before crowds arrive. Here's the thing, though. Have you guys thought about this when it comes to real estate? If everyone is moving out of the state and a large investors, real estate investors coming in buy it up, if there's nobody there to rent it, there's no one there to buy it, is there no one there to actually enjoy the events that you may hold, what happens? See, that's the downfall of the CPX, consumer price index. When inflation and in certain markets boom, people start to migrate in America. Americans move more within America than anyone else. I really want you to think about that. Like, I remember living in DC, and DC is like a dot on the radar. People around me, even myself, we have all lived in Southeast, Northeast, Southwest. I've moved 6 times in DC, a city this small. But anyway, let me keep going here. She said all the Chicago and Gary folks moved to Indianapolis, causing a crime increase. Plus, Indiana just passed a no license to carry law. Yeah, a lot of states are doing the constitutional carry. Okay, they according to the Constitution, you have the right to bear arms. So they're using that language. They're using that. Me personally, I'm a gun owner, so I do believe in what's the Second Amendment. But I think everyone should have a class by the state. The state should sanction classes and use private contractors, like the places where you go to shoot your firearms. A lot of those places have classes. And I think that, of course, the state could contract the ones that they certify. And again, I believe that your concealed handgun license, you having a handgun, should be reciprocal through all the 50 states. Okay, it should it don't matter where you go. Where you have a gun license in Texas, well, you can't carry in Utah. You have a license in Utah, you can't carry in New York. That makes no sense to me. Okay, it should just be federally ran, in my opinion. But I'll move on. A lot of people don't like big government, but sometimes it makes sense. Okay. Steve Bryan, Russia is testing a nuclear torpedo with incompetence. Okay, not talking about Russia today. They're going to do what it do. I see Rashida marrying him, Miss Curly Girl. I see you change your name. Good afternoon to you, ma'am. Jay Darnell, watch for the herd mentality. Yes, that's exactly what's happening. I mean, once people start to see people move out in droves, they're like, where y'all going? We moving too. And plus, listen, people, especially last year, I saw an influx in my neighborhood because this neighborhood is only 5 years old and they're still building homes. majority of the people that we see that's coming here are from California, right? Especially in these homes where anywhere between where I bought it at around 400,000, and then last year they were around 500,000, and now they're close to 700,000. I mean, it's doubling. Okay, but here's the thing: Californians are coming in with cash. We're talking about when they sell their homes, some of them are profiting $800,000. So when they get to Texas, they say, "How much is the house? 500,000." Well, I got 800,000 in the bank, pay for it cash. Don't have to worry about making payments, paying interest. Still got 300, stored up. They buy them for cash, and then they're paying overpriced. That's the main concern that has been hitting Texas. Now Texans can no longer move like they used to because of people from California and New York mostly coming in with straight cash, and they're paying over asking price. Picture this. There's a house on the market. The house is listed for $400,000. You get approved for a loan for $400,000. Someone from California comes in with $400,000 cash, but you being the seller, you really don't care. You're like, okay, well, they say, well, what if we give you 425,000? And then their loan, the people who are actually with the loan, they say, well, we're actually approved up to $450,000. So the Californians say, well, what if we give you 475? You know what? We'll give you a smooth 500,000 for your $400,000 house. What deal would you take? The person who put their bid in first, or the person who's giving you $100,000 over asking price? I'm just doing basic numbers, and I can tell you who I'll go with. It starts with 6 zeros. Okay, it starts with $100,000. Okay. Let's see here. We got Soro. Look like it may have broken up. Did anyone? Okay, yeah. That's exactly what happened. All right, let me move on because I really want to show you some other things here. Okay. Now I'm giving you these numbers so you guys can see the difference of how people are moving. Okay. Now this next one is from 2010 to 2019. Make sure I get a look at you guys here. And we see Florida, of course, same kind of picture as the other picture that I showed you guys. And then this one. I really want you to key in on this one because this is from July 2020 to July 2021. And this is the numbers of people moving. I want you guys to key in on Puerto Rico. People are moving from Puerto Rico to Florida. People are moving from New York, Rhode Island, Maine, down to South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. And like the young lady said, people moving to Indianapolis from Illinois, but they really haven't seen a big shift according to census records. But the main thing for me is I know that a lot of Californians are moving to Texas, Arizona, and a lot of Washingtonians are moving from Washington State to Montana and Idaho. Okay. Now we're about to get into the cost of living. Now, this is going to knock you off your rocker, but we're going to go in here and we're going to kill the nanny so you guys understand why a lot of people are moving. And do not forget, once again, keep this in the back of your brain housing group. Keep this in your mind. A lot of people are moving to certain states because of job opportunities as well. So not only do you have the money to buy the house, but a lot of these jobs are now what? They're now remote. You don't even have to go into work. You sit behind a computer. You can live anywhere you want. We're not going to even get on. A lot of Americans are actually leaving America to countries like Mexico, right? Safe parts of Mexico, the Philippines, Bali. Yeah, people are moving all around the world, even in Africa. The different states and countries in Africa, people are moving to because you can do your job anywhere. Now, granted, if you move to Africa, you might be working nights, but people like, okay, I'm a millionaire in Africa. I'm a millionaire in the Philippines. I'm a millionaire in Cambodia. So I understand, but we won't get on the international. We might do a video later. I don't know. But nonetheless, let's get to the cost of living, right? This is crazy. This is Dallas, Texas, and New York, New York. Consumer prices, every day product that you guys actually buy is almost 50% higher. It says here, it says consumer prices in New York are almost 50% higher than it is in Dallas, Texas. 50% higher. I'm rounding up, family. I'm rounding up. Consumer prices, including rent in New York, they are 70% higher than in Dallas. Think about that. Think about if you can remotely work, you never have to go in, you could actually move to Dallas and pay 70% less in rent. It's a no-brainer. That's why people are moving. Now, granted, I don't want all you guys to move because traffic is getting horrible in Texas. Okay. It's horrible in Houston, but this area over here is getting bad. So just move somewhere else. Move to Montana. I'm pretty sure they got some horse lanes or something. They said rent prices in New York are 100% higher than in Dallas, Texas. Holla at your boy. Look at this right here, family. Look at this. I'm not making this up. They said 100% higher. I'm going to make it big for you guys. That's how expensive it is to live in New York compared to Dallas. 100%. I'm rounding up for the people in the back of the room. Restaurant prices in New York are 42% higher. So you can save 40% just by eating in Dallas. Grocery prices are 54% higher in New York. So a loaf of bread in Texas is $2, and a loaf of bread in New York is what, a dollar extra and some change. Like, that's crazy to me. How much money you'll be saving? Okay, loan purchasing power, blah. We won't get into the detailed listing. And for any of you guys who are thinking to move from another state or another country or another city, Numbeo is a really good site that they actually go down and you can tell they do about restaurant, markets where you get your food, even transportation, how much transportation costs. What else? Utilities a month. Look at this, family. Look at this. New York is just higher on almost everything. Okay. Child care. Look at New York compared to Texas. You're paying an extra $1,400 for child care in New York compared to Texas. And granted, I don't want to be disingenuous. I don't want to be disingenuous because I know what some of you are going to say. Paychecks are lower in the South. The cost of living is lower in the South. Why is that? You get what I'm getting at? I want you guys to really think what I'm getting at here, because the pandemic changed everything, right? I never understood why in New York the cost of living is more expensive. I never understood in DC why paychecks are higher than the South. They just did it that way, right? Because some people would say, well, the reason why the cost of living up north is so much expensive is because they have overpopulated cities and they don't have that much room or space. Okay, then why people don't move and go to other states? Well, the paychecks and some of the amenities and uh, I don't know, characteristics of the city they just don't have. I don't get it. See, a lot of us just are not understanding how America has made some cities more expensive than other cities. And I know some of it's transportation. I know some of it is like, well, in Texas, gas is cheaper than it is New York because Texas is one of the most producing states for oil, but it has to be exported to New York, so that costs money, a little bit extra money to export it to New York, to export it to California. Okay, I can get a couple of dollars difference, but we're talking about thousands of dollars, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about thousands of dollars. We're talking about $1,400 extra dollars to watch your child. This, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let's move along. All right, now we're going to do. Did I jump too far? Nope. Here we go. Now we're going to do Houston and Los Angeles. Consumer prices in Los Angeles, California are roughly 20% higher than Houston. That's still high for me, but that's not too bad. Rent in Los Angeles is 40% higher. It's 40% higher in California than it is in Houston. That is a significant difference. Okay, rent prices in LA are 71% higher than in Houston. So if you took your same job because you work remotely, right? You work satellite, so to speak. You work from home. You mean to tell me that you can save 70% on your rent? So if you was, I don't know, you was paying $4,000 to $5,000 for your rent in LA. You come to Texas, you paying like 1,500, 2,000 maybe. That's crazy to me. Look how much money you can save for your retirement, how much money you can bank onto your 401k, individual stocks, even buy real estate yourself, all that extra money. Damn. Restaurant prices are 25% higher in LA than in Houston. All right. I'm not going to get into the details here. Let's move along. Phoenix, Arizona, and Los Angeles, because there's a lot of people moving to Arizona, mostly Phoenix area, because a lot of people love the city, right? Look at this statement right here. You would need around $6,300 a month. Let's round up to $6,400 a month to it says in LA to maintain the same standard of living that you can have with $4,800 in Phoenix. So roughly $2,000 less. So it's not that much cheaper, but it's still cheaper than living in LA. Okay. Consumer prices in LA are 13 and a half higher than Phoenix. Okay. Consumer price index, including rent, is 33% higher in LA than it is in Phoenix. Rent prices is 67% higher in LA than in Phoenix. And then restaurant prices in LA are 25% higher than in Phoenix. So, I mean, the cost of the living, and people don't understand the cost of living. Some people is just thinking rent and buying a home. No, it's food, it's groceries, it's the products you buy, it's everything. It's everything. When we think about these things, family, okay? And the one question I'm gonna keep saying it. The one question I have for you guys is why? Why? I know some of you guys are super intelligent. You can like, well, Ross, it has to do with the pipeline and the oil traveling through the you must say, well, the soil was going bad. I saw the Indian guy on TV in 2030, all the soil is going to be contaminated. So the groceries, the greens, it's not going to make sense to me, family. I thought about this. I did a really deep dive. I really thought about this, and I said, why in the hell is it so expensive to live in the North? Why in the hell is it so cheap to live in the South? And now, because people are moving more to the South than to the North, houses are more expensive. Food is more expensive. Gas is more expensive. So it tells me that whoever's controlling the country economically, they said we're going to raise prices where the majority of the people are. When had the last time you heard that Montana was expensive, that Utah was expensive? Anybody? Anybody? South Dakota, North Dakota. Like, man, it's expensive, North Dakota. Anybody you ever heard that? Hell no. You never heard that. But Texas, Florida, Arizona, they're getting very expensive because everybody is flocking to it. I'm just using rationale. I'm just using reasoning. I know some of you guys have the receipts, the metrics, the numbers. We're gonna get into it. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna look at this. We got one more. Phoenix, Arizona, and New York. It says consumer prices in New York are 45% higher than in Phoenix. Consumer prices, including rent in New York, are 75% higher than they are in Phoenix. So it doesn't matter if you're moving from New York or Cali into Arizona, you are saving at least 70% on rent. Okay. Rent price in New York, oh my God, 128% higher than in Phoenix. Think about that. If you could keep your same job and you're working remotely in New York, if you move to Phoenix, you're saving 128%. I can't even fathom those numbers. Hold up. Let me get my calculator. Here's my calculator, family. Let's do this math together. Okay. Let's do this math together. Calculator, make sure it's on, equals a lot of damn money you'll be saving. I don't, this is too much money. 128%. Like literally, they're saying, think about this, right? So if your rent is $100, I'm gonna make it simple. If your rent is $100, they saying if you move to Phoenix because it's 128 higher than Arizona, they're going to give you $30. That don't even make sense to me. Oh gosh. Oh man, hold on. Let me get my shrines right. I'm laughing too hard. I'm sorry, family. I'm laughing too hard. I just can anyone. Let's take a moment here. I'm on one. I know I'm on one. It's okay. Rent prices in New York are 128% higher than in Phoenix. Let me highlight this. Where's my highlighter? Family, they're saying if you that's too damn high. I can't even do the I know there's some math to it. I know it's not gonna be they're gonna give you $3, but it's just funny to think about it that way, right? Oh God. Restaurant prices in New York are around 40% higher than they are in Phoenix. Groceries, listen to this. Now, this is easy math. Grocery prices in New York are 52% higher than they are in Phoenix. So take, for instance, if your groceries in New York cost you 200, they're going to cost you 100 in Phoenix. I mean, you can damn near double the amount of groceries that you have. Okay. All right. Let's get into some of the commentary over here. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat over here. I see a lot of people have been messaging here. Let's see here. Steve Bryan says, what are the numbers of black people moving out of America? It's not as many as you think. What I'm noticing when I went over to Ghana, believe it or not, there are a small population of black Americans who moved to Ghana, but believe it or not, a lot of black Americans have moved back to America from Ghana. And you can go and watch some of my videos named A Day in Ghana that I was actually giving oration about my experiences in Ghana. So go check those out. That kind of give you a feel of why I believe some people actually moved out. Okay. Ambitious Hustler says, I moved to OKC and I'm not leaving. Okay. All right. I moved to Uganda and don't see coming back unless it's a check. They're waiting for me to just come pick up and get back out. I understand that. We got Cooter Rebel. What's going on, Cooter? I know he's probably over from the Ricky Manna channel. Nice to see you. Nice to have you. Steve Bryan, 88-cent loaf of bread in Kampala. Okay, not a big bread eater. I'm trying to lose weight. All right. Ambitious Hustler, I drive trucks and make $90K a year, and I move from Fort Lauderdale to Oklahoma City. I like it better. I'm never going back to Florida. Wow. Ambitious Hustler, I'm pretty sure that people here would love to know why you're not moving back to Florida, because I have a buddy that lives in Florida. He lives in the Tampa area. He likes it, so to speak. He's a veteran as well. I had an electric bicycle in New York. No need for a car, but that non-expense was taken up by cost of rent. Every win becomes a law somehow under capitalism. I know that's right. No interest rates, no sales tax, no property tax, no credit scores. I'll stay in Uganda. Oh, you're in Uganda. Okay. Charles Williams, laughing my ass off. Rashida Murray. Okay. I know. Steve Brown said, damn, that's a lot of money. Charles Williams, that makes no damn sense. It doesn't. I moved to the mountains here in New Mexico, started my garden and keep bees. Okay. So you guys got a bee farm. Ladies and gentlemen, I had to do this video today because I'm just saying an influx of everything in Texas, and kind of to give you guys, let me show you guys something very quickly here. I wasn't going to do this because I'm actually looking at properties right now in Texas, and these prices last year was around they were around $50,000 for these homes. Let me show you. So this home right here was $50,000, okay, last year. Now, what I mean is not this exact home, but homes like it. 2-bed, 1-bath. It's only 684 square feet. Now, my apartment in Washington State was bigger than this. My apartment was $850 and it had 2-bed, 2-bath. And this is a home at $140,000. Now, last year, homes like this was around $50,000. Okay. I'm just kind of letting you know how Texas is slowly, if not already, becoming very, very expensive. Okay. Very, very expensive. Now, look at this right here, family. This is a one bed, one bath, 500 square foot, whatever it is, for $95,000. $95,000. Yep. Now, this home right here is for sale by the owner. Let's just look at some of the rooms here. It's $135,000. Okay, small kitchen. That's a horrible island. Okay, I just take that out. You don't need that. Okay, not too bad. That doesn't look too bad. It has low ceiling, so it may look small, and it also looks like it has all of the plumbing and everything underneath. They call them what they call them pier homes, where everything is underneath. Okay. Yeah, I'm just looking through some homes right now, family, but some of these homes are priced way too high. Okay. Some of these homes are priced way too damn high. Now, I'm going to show you, I'm not going to give you my address. I'm just going to show you my neighborhood. Okay. So let me get this off really quickly so I can give you guys, I'm going to show you how these homes have went up tremendously. Let's see. Do-do-do-do. Give me 1 second, family. 1 second. He would show up at your house. Hey, what's going on, Ross? Hey, man. Hey, watch out now. All right, so here we go. I keep hitting the wrong one. Now, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bath, 3,000 square feet, $660,000. Now, I know a lot of you are gonna be like, man, that's cheap because you may live in the north, right? Because homes right now from DC on up are like $1 million for a nice home. Like we're talking about there, a nice home. Like this home right here. Let me show you something. 3 bed, 2 bath, rounded up to 1,600 square feet, $475,000. This same home 2 years ago was around $280. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, $280. And believe me, a home that's under 2,000, a home that's under 2,400 square feet in Texas is small, considering Texas, because everything big in Texas, right? I mean, now I think a lot of these are new build. Now, if I were to show you some old builds and how the price increased, you will see the difference. Let me see here. Let me back out. Let me put an actual address in here. Probably put in one of my neighbors. Ain't my house. Ain't my house. Let's see. Put it right there. Give me 1 second, family. 1 second. I really want to show you these guys these numbers of how these homes have significantly increased in price. Excuse me, and no rhyme or reason. Okay. All right, let's look in here. Where we at? Okay. I'm gonna show you these prices right here. I keep doing the same thing. So as we're looking at these homes here, and this is the area that I live in. Look at this area, family. Now, some of these that are grayed out, they're probably off the market. You see them grayed out. But I'm looking at the lowest house at $375,000. And we have homes in this area over $1 million in this actual neighborhood. A lot of neighborhoods in Texas are actually named just like anywhere else, right? But in my neighborhood, they have homes. Now, I can tell you right now, there's no home where I live at for 375. There's none. They're most likely 400 and above. But I want to go look at this 375 house. Okay, it's pending. Okay, this is not in my area. This is not in my neighborhood, but this is in my area. And this house, what I tell you, family, listen to this. This house right here is $375,000 for 3 bed, 2 bath at 1,348 square feet. You're talking about a freaking apartment for a house. Now, it's still a house. Okay, it's still a house. But if you knew anything about Texas, this house right here will probably be around 280. Yeah, $100,000 cheaper than this. Yeah, this is astronomically high for a house so small at 1,348. I'm just giving you guys some numbers here, okay? Let's look at this 950 home. Now, you should get a lot for this. Okay. Now, if you notice, it has a big backyard. You get 6 bedrooms, 4 bath, 4295 square feet. Okay. So that's almost $1 million. As I told you, my home is roughly 4,000 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, and I paid 390. You get it now, right? First of all, I'm showing you the difference so you know how cheap Texas was and now how expensive Texas is. And it's because people decided during COVID-19, unless somebody give me a better answer, that we're just going to raise the prices. Oh, people moving to Texas, raise the real estate, raise the amount of land. People, because Texas has a lot of uncharted land, like flat. In Texas is majority flat, right? But people are not moving to East and West Texas. People are moving to North and South Texas, like North Dallas, South Dallas, or they're moving all the way out to Houston. They're not moving to Waxahachie, Texas, like places that I can barely even name. Almost like I got a speech impediment. But nonetheless, these homes were a lot cheaper a couple of years ago. We're talking about 2 years ago, family. Yeah, 2 years ago. 2 years ago. 2 years ago. What else we have here? Steve Bryan says, in my neighborhood, 5 bedroom, 3 bath, wall compound, 60K. Take a trip outside America. Let's see here. No interest. I've learned a lot allowed because it's against the Bible. Okay. All right. So let me tell you something. Steve Bryan is making a good point about the amount of money that you can actually save living in another country. But I'm going to tell you something, Steve. People love America because it's America, because we are Americans, right? When I went to Ghana, I thought I was going to feel the ancestral spirits. I thought I was going to feel this connection and connection. And I felt a very small connection because everybody looked like me, right? Everybody's dark melanated skin. The people are very nice. I can't take nothing away from Ghana. Very parts of the country was very, very beautiful. Infrastructure needs a lot of work. But the people are very, very nice. But culturally speaking, Black Americans like to be around Black Americans, good or bad, negative or positive, right? When you go to an event and you got Charlie Wilson up there, you ain't gonna have that in Ghana. And if you do, it's gonna be like one every 4 or 5 years. So again, that's why it's hard for a lot of Black Americans to leave America. It's because we are Americans. We were born, raised here. Okay, our ancestry is here. Even before slavery, our ancestors is here. If you do your research, so we are, red-blooded Black Americans. So there's a lot of things that I didn't see. And granted, there's a lot of African countries. There's over 50. I got it. But when you look at some of the amenities and some of the events and some of the activities that America has, Africa doesn't have that because Africa was made for traditional, culturally Africans. Okay. They don't have Six Flags, okay, over America. They don't have parks like that where you can go to different states and do things of that nature. Now, granted, they do have some activities, but if you notice, a lot of the things in Africa are like wildlife, like safari. The food is cheap and good. The food in Ghana was excellent. But outside of cheap homes, cheap land, good food, minimum activities, safari, you might as well move to Washington State. Because people in Washington State, they love nature. They hug and kiss on trees. They do a lot of hiking. But when we're talking about things that, let's keep it real, folks, things that Black Americans like to do, you guys like to go to functions and events and carnivals and museums. You get what I'm getting at. It's just not the same. Okay. And I know a lot of you guys on YouTube, you're watching all these Ghana and South Africa, because me and my wife, we're actually going to, it's up in the air, right? Because next year we're supposed to go to Rwanda, but we might think about going to South Africa first. But anyway, when you go to some of these African countries and you do the research and you think about all the things that you can do there, there's not a lot. There's not a lot of activities that you will be used to, right? Think about this. I'm gonna put it in perspective. Okay. I'm gonna put it, and you're right, Steve Brown. It is low-hanging fruit. I'm gonna put it in perspective, family. You want to move, you like, oh man, I want to go connect with my ancestors. I want to buy cheap land. I want to move over there. I really want to find who I am. Go ahead and move over there, right? You're gonna go on to Eventbrite, and you're like, man, I'm gonna go to a comedy club. And it might have a comedy club. You ain't gonna laugh. Because they're not telling Black American jokes, let alone they're not telling American jokes. They're gonna, and I don't want to demonize, Africans as far as some of the jokes they may tell, but they're not going to give you jokes that are relatable. You might get one or two jokes that may be relatable, right? The only reason why people laugh at Trevor Noah of The Daily Show is he makes a really good comparison with America and Africa, and he makes that the joke, the comparison. But you're going to be in Africa. There's no really reason for them to really compare it to anything but Africa because they want to be relatable. Very, very, very few American comedians have a set where they're just talking about the relationship between African American and making jokes about it. So even a little small event like comedy, you're not going to enjoy yourself in activity. If you just want to sit on your front porch, watch giraffe, drink root tea, and watch the Chinese build the infrastructure, I don't know. I'm just keeping it real. So that's why people stay in America, right? Because at the end of the day, and I didn't even talk about we threw it back and forth like, yeah, possibility we could move to Africa cheap. We could retire early, fire, right? But when we looked at and it really wasn't a family aspect. And I know a lot of you guys are close to your family. That's why you like, I'm not moving to no damn Africa. I'm not moving to no damn Europe. I'm not moving to South America, Central America. I'm not moving to Australia. I'm gonna stay right here in America. This is where my family is. I got that. But for me, I like activities. So why would I move somewhere with less activities and it'd be more expensive to go to another country where they have activities? Right. And then again, just think about really small events and functions, and it's not relatable. Yeah, there's a couple of you nomads out there. You can take a backpack and you guys enjoy the rest of your life out there backpacking through Africa, backpacking through Europe. You guys will have a great time. But let me tell you about Black Americans. And I can't speak for us all because you got some guys out there who just do their own thing. But most of us like activities. Okay, most of us like activities. Let's just say that. And believe me, I don't care what African country you tell me other than South Africa. There ain't a lot of activities, okay? Okay, all right. Got that off. All right, let's see here. Steve Brown said West Africa and East Africa totally different. Yes, they are. No argument there. Let's pop this one up. Ross is speaking on his Ghana experience. I agree with him about West Africa. It's like a HBCU financially aid line when your money ain't right. East Africa completely different. No, East Africa is absolutely completely different. But when you talk about Kenya, you can might as well call Kenya Little China. Anyway, folks, that's all I have for you days. And guess what? None of you guys answered my question. Why are the homes? Why is the real estate market booming? I'm gonna ask one more time before I leave here. I give you guys about a minute. Why is the real estate market booming across the U.S. and mainly in the South? Why are homes almost double the amount that they were 2 years ago? I mean, because granted, I'm gonna give you a couple of insight here. COVID-19 hits 2019. Massive layoff from all of these organizations and companies. People are getting fired, people are getting laid off. Businesses are closing in droves. Some people get their jobs back, telecommute, hybrid, remote, satellite, however you want to name it, you're working from home. Some people are actually banking off their stimulus checks and somehow living off of that because maybe you guys live 3 in an apartment and you got kids and You had enough money to sustain you for maybe 3 to 6 months. Some people did they got the PPP loan, and some people got the PPP loan by fraud. And don't forget, I did that video, Joe Biden coming to get your ass who got that PPP money. I'm just letting you know. I'm no Joe Biden supporter, but goddamn it, he ain't let you steal from America, because you know these damn politicians do. He coming to get y'all. He appointed a special investigator to PPP fraud. Now, granted, if you stole, a couple of thousand, you should be okay. But he going after them people who got like a million, anywhere from 100,000 or more. He gonna get them first. Like, we gonna get their ass first. I digress with that. But tell me why you believe that the real estate market is booming and places like Texas, Florida, Georgia, Arizona, Montana, Utah, Idaho are becoming more and more expensive. Do you believe what I said, that that's where the massive drove of people are migrating to? So they're just raising the price because they can, right? Because currently, right across the street from where I live at, they're building duplexes. And I'm like, this is almost $1 million neighborhood, and y'all building, but they're leasing them. They're not even selling them. Okay. They're not building enough homes fast for the influx of population. In some of these places, they just got the frame up. Some of these places are already being leased. I mean, they're not paying, but people have already signed paperwork. It said now leasing. They're not even made yet, but people have already signed a dotted line. They said 25% of the neighborhood's already taken up. I said, wow. And they're leasing, not even buying. All right, let's see here. Sleepy Joe coming. Sleepy Joe coming. But family, okay. I really wanted you guys to answer that question, because I really don't know the answer to it. Of course, no one knows the answer to all the questions, but that's the one question I wanted you guys to answer, because I know you guys are very intelligent, but I try to make common sense of things before I go and research, because now I have to go and research it because no one told me. I really want to know how all of a sudden, I got it. Supply and demand. Supply and demand. I know at the end of the day, it's supply and demand. Right now, Texas, excuse me. Right now, Texas has a low supply of homes because neighborhoods are popping up all over the place. So currently the supply is low and the demand is high, thus drive prices up. Even though current inflation is what, 7.8%? But kind of, wait a minute, that brings me back to my other one. Why is the supply low? Why is the demand high? Because people are moving out of California and New York and all these other, like in Illinois, because of statewide gentrification. That's my reasoning. That's my conjecture. That's my answer. What's going on, Teddy Wilson? You missed a good show, man. You might have to rewind this one. I'm about to end here. But nonetheless, family, I thank you guys for joining me here today. Wow. This is crazy. This is crazy. I really, really want you guys to think about where you're living. And currently, I'm in the market. I want to work from home. That's it. That's all I got. I don't want to drive because traffic is horrible in the Dallas area. Traffic is horrible in the Houston area. I don't want to drive. I just want to sit behind a computer and click buttons all day and get paid 6 figures or more. I didn't do it at Amazon. I've done it at Capital One. That's what I want to do. Okay. All right. And believe me, if you have a business, you're an entrepreneur, believe me when I tell you this, if it's not bringing in the money that you want to bring in, try to get a corporate job. Because the reason why I'm saying get a corporate job, because you want to get a good idea of how businesses are ran, good and bad, right? Of course, you're gonna learn a great deal when you work for corporate America, how businesses are ran. I mean, from every department, the financial department, the HR department, the process department, the operations department, the functions department, the events department, the community department, the diversity department. You're going to learn so much information, and you guys should be taking notes while you're working there, because you can implement some of those same principles and goals, etc., into your own business. So again, if you're not making the money you want to make with your own business, try to go get some of that experience for free while they pay you. Because I know a lot of people that go and work for corporate America and they're taking detailed notes. So when they leave corporate America, they can structure their business around a great business and trim the fat, so to speak. Like, oh yeah, I don't need to do that, but this is good. So just think about that, guys. You guys have a great and wonderful day. I see you guys tomorrow morning for your stock review. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money, and you might want to move. I'm out.